and welcome to Inner Circle Guidance. Today we're going to be doing a collective reading, but for those of you who are new to the circle, hello and welcome. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. I post new videos every single day. And if you're looking for daily short tarot readings, check out my Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, or YouTube Shorts. If you're looking for personal services or personal readings, I offer them through my website, innercircleguidance.com. Let's find out what the circle needs to know today. We have clouds, number 11, distractions. We have crystals, number 9, achievement. We have mirror, reflection, number 20. We have abundance, the Cowrie shell, number 25. We have feather, messages, number 7. And that was weird. I don't know why I took that on the bottom of the deck. That was out of habit from the other one, the way I usually pull. We have phrases, motivation, number 24. And I'm going to pull the last one off the top because that's what I meant to do. Medical staff, healing, number 13. Actually, I don't know if you guys can see that over there as well. Let's put it here. Okay. So as you can see, I did something a little different today because I had this weird feeling that I needed to pull from the Oracle deck instead of the tarot cards. And so that's what I did today. Let's jump into what this reading is about. I'm seeing that presently and in the near past, so this could be this last week, there's been a lot of distractions, but not just distractions as in things coming in and actually distracting you. I'm also seeing you've been a little unfocused. You've allowed things in your life to kind of come in and derail you a little bit from your main goals. Now, part of it can be a positive thing because sometimes you simply need to take a break. Just like when you sit down and you look up at the sky and you watch the clouds and you look up at the stars and you do those types of things, it can be very relaxing and it can help you be distracted in a good way. But if you're allowing that to take hold too much, where you are trying to constantly escape reality because you're stressed or whatever, it tends to make it more difficult for you to plan and for you to take action on the things that you're trying to achieve. And so if you've been distracted because you're stressed out, give yourself that space to kind of recharge, but don't allow it to derail you entirely. And it's interesting because I accidentally pulled this card from the bottom of the decks in the placement of the overall outcome, but I meant to pull this one. What that's telling me is that you need to get your motivation back up. And so this card is all about the phrases that you see throughout your day. Maybe you see, never give up or something on the side of a billboard, or you see recycle on a plastic bag, or you hear certain phrases in a song. There's going to be messages coming to you about your current situation that are going to help motivate you or lead you in the right direction if you're paying attention. It could be somebody's shirt when you're walking by. Pay attention to the phrases that you see and you hear at this time. It's going to help you regain that motivation, because I'm hearing here that part of why the universe hasn't pushed you too hard at this time is because you have a lot of messages, a lot of abundance and things that are going to be coming in, but the universe wants you to be prepared and ready for those blessings. And so if you've been in sort of this, like, I need to relax kind of stage where you are, there's like a word for this and I can't think of the word, like essentially where you're trying to escape. It's okay to do that for a little bit. Just don't get caught up in it too long, because I'm seeing that in the near future, there's going to be a lot of messages coming through. It could be through birds, because we do have a feather on this card. or it could be literal feathers. Remember that feathers and birds both have different messages and different meanings to them. You may want to be researching the different potential messages that you're going to be getting. This could also be a literal message of somebody sending you a text, or you having an important conversation, or getting an important message of some sort coming in the near future. Could also be an offer. And the reason I say that is because we have abundance sitting in the long-term future position. We also have a lot of angel numbers on the table here that you may want to look up. These different numbers may have different meanings for you as well. But this is awesome because, just so you know, there's only one abundance card in this entire deck. And so for you to have gotten that card, that's awesome. That's one, and I don't know how many cards there are actually in this deck. Hold on, I could probably tell you. 44. There's 44 cards. So that's 1 out of 44 chances for that card to get pulled. I don't believe in coincidences, but the reason I say that is I want you to realize that out of 44 cards, this one got pulled. And so that being said, it was meant to be pulled because you have this abundance coming in. You just have to keep going on the path, and you have to keep on looking ahead and looking to the future and planning and taking those actions. Now, what I'm seeing here too, because this card is sitting in the position of what's working in your favor, is crystals and achievement. For some of you, this abundance is going to come in the form of some major achievement that you've been working on for a long time. For others of you, this card means that your achievements are coming from certain consistencies that you have managed to put into your habits and into your long-term planning. So crystals are formed because of patterns that are consistently made. And so essentially, the universe is telling you to continue on your path of being consistent. Continue with using that consistent planning or action taking or whatever you're doing. Be consistent in all areas so that you can continue to keep the balance in your life, and you can continue to bring in this abundance because your hard work is going to pay off. This is also a card of recognition. For those of you who are looking to have acclaim or fame from the things that you're doing, I'm seeing that that's a very strong possibility here because you have both of these cards, abundance and achievement, on the table. For others of you who are not looking for that, it's more about the long-term sustainability and maintenance of keeping this abundance that you've been asking for. And I'm seeing that you're learning how to achieve that and how to do that. And part of it is through consistency. Now, what's working against you here is we have the mirror, we have reflection. This card has two meanings to it. The first one is that there's some healing that needs to be done. And it's interesting because we also have medical staff healing number 13 on the table here as part of the overall outcome. Part of this abundance that you're bringing in requires a huge level of healing. If there's something in the past that you're still holding on to that needs healed, you need to take time for reflection and working through those things so that you can move forward. The other thing about mirror and reflection in this card has to do with strengthening your spiritual side of things. So, as far as your spiritual practices, if you are finding that you're doing them because I'm telling you to do them or someone else is telling you to do them, that may not be the best way to go about it. Your spiritual practices are meant to be for you. And so they need to be tailored for you. And I know we're talking about consistency, but one thing that I think sometimes gets a little lost or confused, or is a common misconception when it comes to spiritual practice, is that it has to be so consistent that you're doing the exact same thing every single day. One, that gets monotonous and boring. If you aren't having the feeling behind your manifestations and your meditations, it's not really going to get you anywhere because you're doing it for the sake of doing it. I'll tell you that if I try to do my affirmations and things every single day, I get tired. You have to remember that these spiritual practices are also energy that you're putting out into the universe. There needs to be a balance. And although some people work really well with, say, meditating every day or whatever, that doesn't work for everybody, because for some people, meditating takes a lot of energy. Not even necessarily because you don't have balance or you don't have boundaries or whatever. Sometimes it's simply because you're so good at visualizing that it takes so much energy from you, and then you end up kind of at a deficit. You don't want to do that. You want your spiritual practices to enhance your spiritual journey. So you're going to need to tailor them to you. If you're finding that meditating every day is making you tired, then maybe that's not the best way to go about it. Maybe you should meditate every other day or however you want to do it. But you need to build your spiritual practices around you and have purpose for them. Don't just meditate because I'm telling you to meditate. Some people don't meditate at all and they still have the same results, but it's because they have other practices in the place of that work better for them. Find what works for you and then make it consistent. And remember that being inconsistently consistent is also a consistency. That's also a pattern. So if you're one of those people who needs to switch things up more, and let's say you want to make your goals meditate 3 times a week, write in my journal 4 times a week, 2 times a week, I don't know, free write or whatever. 3 times a week, write out my affirmations every single day, practice gratitude. For some of you, instead of putting, I'm going to do this Wednesday, Tuesday, and Thursday, maybe just having like, I'm going to do this 3 times a week. And then at some point during the week, you do it 3 times. You're keeping that consistency, but you're not getting bored and getting into that monotony. Some people don't work great with consistent, perfect schedules. I'm one of those people. I'll be honest right now. I have to plan my week weekly, or sometimes I have to plan my days daily, because trying to say I'm going to do this every Tuesday is very boring for me. And not that I can't do that for some things. I mean, obviously I do these readings every day, unless I have some weird internet issue like I did the other day. But you can get into a consistently inconsistent pattern in the sense that you're doing things consistently, but you're a little bit more flexible in the way that you go about it. It doesn't need to be a rigid process for everybody. Do what works for you. Now, getting back to the healing part of this card is very much about healing. Part of the abundance that's going to be coming in is going to have to do with your healing. Not only in terms of you having to heal in order to bring in the abundance, but there may also be an abundance of healing in general. So this may be a time of renewal. This may be a time of messages coming in and big breakthroughs spiritually. You could be going through spiritual awakenings. You're going to need to take these things at kind of a step at a time, because with the clouds and distractions being on the table, the medical stuff and healing and the mirror of reflection all being on the table, there's a little bit of an imbalance here. This could be an imbalance because of the abundance coming in and the changes that are happening, or it could be an imbalance that you need to fix and you're working on right now because the abundance is going to come in after that. Depending on your situation is kind of how it's going to be decided. But you have this abundance that's coming in your long-term future. Now, when I say long-term, that can be a few weeks from now, that could be a few months from now for some of you. It depends on where you're at in your journey, and also if you continue on the trajectory of moving quickly towards the abundance, or if you need to slow down and take things at your own pace for a bit because you've got too many messages or too many distractions or whatever coming in. Take it at your own pace. This is not a race. You want to be able to maintain your abundance when you receive it. You don't want it to come in and then go. So that being said, you want to make sure that you are actually working towards that and working on that maintenance part instead of getting the instant gratification of it. And so you need to be a little bit patient with yourself is what I'm hearing here. So there's a couple different affirmations that I see for this reading in particular. So I'm going to give you a few. The first one is, I am patient towards my abundance. The second one is, I am taking time to reflect and heal on that which needs to be healed. The third one is I'm creating balance in my spiritual practices that work for me, not against me. And another one that I'm hearing is, I am remaining laser focused on my goals and creating consistency towards my abundance. And as always, may your life be full of light, full of love, abundance, and gratitude. I'll see you next time.